Alright, so here we are on lesson 4, and we're going to combine this with lesson 7, but we are going to start on page 8 of your note packet. So we're going to start off with some visual models, and then we're going to move into that standard algorithm that I know you've all been waiting for. So we're going to skip down to the bottom of page 8, and we're going to start with example 1. And this says that Molly purchased 11/8 cups of strawberries. She eats 2/8 in a serving. How many servings did Molly purchase? Okay, so this is kind of like what we've been doing. So we know that we have 11/8 divided by 2/8. This is what we're looking for. So 11/8 means we will have 11 boxes to start with, because that is an improper fraction. One more, and we know that we are going to shade in all 11 of them to represent our 11/8. So go ahead and shade all of those in. And now we see that we're dividing by 2/8. So we want groups of 2 from here. So this is one group of 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we see that we have 1 left over. So we have 5 whole groups, we have 1 left over, and we were circling them in groups of 2, so the answer would be 5.5 servings. That's how much Molly purchased. Okay, so kind of similar as to what we've been doing. If you flip over to the next page, this one says, now imagine that Molly's friend Xavier purchases 11/8 cups of strawberries and he eats 3/4 cup servings. How many servings has he purchased? Alright, so if we look at 11/8 and 3/4 and we look at those denominators, right, and you might not have realized that all the other problems we've done have already had common denominators. So that's why it's been working nicely. So now we're trying to figure out 11/8 divided by 3/4. Alright, but we need a common denominator, so we're going to have to change the second one to 8ths, so we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. So this would be the same thing as having 11/8 divided by 6/8. And now we can work with this. So if we draw our model, again we need 11 boxes to represent the 11/8. And then we're going to shade in all 11 of them for our 11/8. Alright, and now we're dividing by 6/8, so we want groups of 6. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here's 6. And if we count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. So we only got 1 full group. And then we had 5 left over, and we were grouping in 6, so our answer would be 1 5/6 servings. Okay, so again, this is what we've been doing. But now this next part says we can also use the standard algorithm to solve this problem. To use the standard algorithm, we have to use the reciprocal of the divisor and then multiply the fractions. Alright, so remember, the divisor is going to be the second fraction. It's what we are dividing by. Okay, so the reciprocal just means simply the flip of a fraction. Okay, so an example would be, if we took the example from up above, 3/4, the reciprocal would then be 4/3. So you simply just flip it. Okay, so if we look at example 2, now we're getting into using the standard algorithm. So it says find the quotient of 3/4 divided by 2/3. Okay, so this is our divisor. This is what we are dividing by. So what we're going to do is we take the first one, 3/4. Alright, we flip the second one to 3/2, and now we change the divide symbol to a times. So now we just multiply across like we know how to do, and we get 9/8 as our answer, and you can leave it as an improper fraction. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and skip all of page 10 for now, and I want you to skip to to page 11, and this is what starts lesson 7, which is using the standard algorithm. So first we're going to put down our steps for dividing fractions. So first we multiply by the reciprocal. Alright, then we check for cross division. Then we multiply across. And last but not least, we simplify. Always, always, always we simplify our fractions. Okay, so let's look at number 1. So we have 3/4 divided by 2/5. So this will become 3/4 times, flip the second one, 5/2. We check for cross division here. We don't have any, so our final answer, if we multiply across, would be 15/8. Alright, number 2 here, we have 6/7 divided by 3/4, so this would become 6/7 times 4/3. We check for cross division, and we do have some. We can cross divide the 6 and the 3, so we divide by 3, this becomes a 1, this becomes a 2. Now when we multiply across, 4 times 2 is 8, and 7 times 1 is 7, so our final answer is 8/7. Okay, go ahead and flip over to the next page. We're going to do one more all together. Alright, number 1 is 9/10 divided by 11/20. So this becomes 9/10 times 20 over 11. And we check for cross division now, and yes, we can cross divide with the 10 and the 20. If we divide them both by 10, we get 1 and 2. So now when we multiply across, 9 times 2 is 18, over 1 times 11 is 11, and we can't simplify anymore, so this is our final answer. Okay, number 2 and number 3 and number 4, I want you to try these on your own. Use your notes and use the standard algorithm. Okay, so go ahead and try 2, 3, and 4 on your own. Use your notes and your standard algorithm, and then we will go over them in class tomorrow.